Good morning, everyone. I opened the workshop door today and found two old 5-volt phone chargers on the table. They look ordinary, but small things like this always make me pause. Here is a data SIM for internet access. I am only placing it into the charger's USB port for this small experiment. Let us not guess too early. Next, I have a piece of aluminum foil. This is the kind many homes already have in the kitchen. I cut it into a small piece then fold it slowly so it can fit into the SIM slot. With tiny parts like this, slow hands are better than fast hands. Now I slide the folded foil into the same USB area right where I placed the SIM. It only needs to fit snugly. On the table I also have an empty Coca-Cola can. Instead of throwing it away, I cut it into two sections, the top and the bottom. The edge is sharp, so I work slowly and carefully. This is a stainless steel scrubber, the kind often found in the kitchen. I cut it in half so it can fit inside the can piece. It looks simple, but in a workshop, small things like this can still be useful. Now I connect the two cut pieces of the can back into one small block. Then I use pliers to grip the pull tab and remove the metal ring from the can lid. It is a small step, but neat work makes the next steps easier to control. Since I only have one data SIM for internet, this model still needs one more SIM for the next test. I remove the phone SIM I used earlier. It still has good signal, so I keep it carefully. I use glue to fix the SIM onto a small wooden piece. The wood only helps keep everything steady while I work. Then I start tinning the SIM contacts, but the tip is oxidized, so solder will not stick. I use the Coca-Cola can with the metal scrubber inside to clean the oxide from the soldering tip. After cleaning, the tip looks brighter and can take solder again. Now I return to the SIM and solder 6 small points. This is only preparation for the next step, so I keep the heat light and do not stay too long on one spot. Next, I drive 6 short screws into the wooden piece. These screws will become clear connection points on this experimental model. I cut 6 pieces of wire and strip both ends. This simple work does not look exciting, but clean wire ends make soldering much easier. When working with old parts, careful preparation often saves time later. I solder each wire from the 6 tinned points on the sim to the 6 screws on the wood. At this point, I am not calling it a finished device. It is only a small model, so each wire needs to stay in the right place. Now I mark the connection points. Here we have signal, D-, VCC, GND, D+, and 3.3 volts. These labels help me avoid wiring mistakes. In this experimental model, the labels matter more than the wire colors. This is an IGBT power transistor, code H20R1203. This type of part is usually found in power electronic circuits. Here, I am only reusing it as an old component with strong metal legs for holding points, connection points, or a small test detail in the model. With old electronics, I do not assume a part is still good. I use it carefully and only within a small experiment. After the wires are soldered, I fix the IGBT onto the wooden piece. Now I solder the white wire to 3.3 volts, the green wire to VCC, and the red wire to GND. The wire colors may look different from common habits, so I follow the labels first, not the colors. Next, I have a USB connector. In this experimental model, I connect two inner USB wires to D+ and D-. Normally, D+ and D- are data lines, so this should be understood as a test connection, not a standard power wiring guide. Now I have a coil that represents an antenna. I plan to solder it to the signal point. After this small detail, the model is ready for a test. Do you think this experiment will show something interesting? Now I will connect it to the TV and see what happens. What do you think? Leave your ideas in the comments below.